Next Digital, a website organization, founder. The founder of that, Jimmy Lai, confessed that his assistant, Mark Simon, paid $10,000 to somebody. Somebody associated directly with or working as a blogger for a Hong Kong tabloid called the Apple Daily. This blogger was named Christopher Balding. What did he pay him $10,000 for? Commissioning him to do some work. Christopher Balding said the work he was being paid for was something about him being handed a 64-page document. And he named his source. Then later on, he decided to claim he authored little bits of it. But he didn't write it. Then when it was found out that his source was a fictitious individual, he actually confessed that his source he named, which is the authentication and validity used originally to give it some power of truth. The claim of this authority being a source of information for this document turned out to be, quote, an entirely fictional individual created solely for the purpose of releasing this report and promoting it. An AI bot that generates social networking pages on Twitter or Facebook for the purpose of sales and promotion. A spam bot with a specific name. Originally, August 1st, Typhoon Investi 1, or Typhoon Investigations, was claiming to be a Lugano, Switzerland security analyst named Martin Aspen. One of 6 at the time, after that point, social network AI face generator influencer bots created. This all linked back for authenticity because you have to have not just cross-pollination, but some authorship back to a fucking WordPress site. Excuse me, but seriously. This site originally used a Mac repair shop as its address. Funny, huh? Then it changed it to a location at Megayo 1C 6900 Lugano, Switzerland, or Switzerland. It's a virtual office and a server farm. It's literally the physical location for the IP address of the bot utility. Technically not lying now. And this WordPress site, linked below me, is the original source of it, or identical to the original source data that was originally published on Alberto Marco's Intelligence Quarterly blog. So we have a blogger, another blogger, a tabloid, somebody running a place called Next Digital, $10,000 money paid to do something, and the person justifying that by saying, I co-authored it, but I didn't totally author it. It was totally this other guy who turns out to have never existed because it's literally a spam bot running a bunch of online source sites. And that was the original reason to pay attention to this blogger, saying, I didn't write it. I didn't get it from a random anonymous source. I got it from a totally out and proud Switzerland security analyst named Martin Aspen, who never existed. Martin Aspen is just yet another friendly face bot on the internet to produce and disseminate spam without getting it marked spam. That's what it's for. This is like saying, yeah, that hot chick profile on YouTube that claims to provide porn but doesn't because a bunch of bots have created a bunch of YouTube channels being overtly about selling you access to porn on the internet. Some of you have gotten these comments. They're bots that appear to be usually Oriental women. You know, during an election right now, we have a bunch of Chinese bot utilities making porn spam bots on YouTube. But this place out of Hong Kong, Apple Daily, getting paid $10,000 by someone else to pay to a particular blogger for a document. Okay, so let's review here. We're already at this point that none of these people have any reason to be believed about this file that could be easily created by anybody. Hell, originally, the original sourcing, not the source, but the original place it was posted, totally isn't the source, even though it's identical almost, is a posting on a blog spot. It's a blogging page. I like that it went back to originally a repair shop that ran Macintosh repair stuff. But now, anyway, the attributed original source, because again, the fake bot always said it was always from this WordPress site, so they're one and the same. Accurately says, oh, I live here at this floor at a server farm. Yeah, because you're a bot routine. Christopher Balding first shopped this file around and got it on Alberto Marco's Intelligence Quarterly blogs page on September. He now refuses to name anyone else as the document's author, so it doesn't have any authority of having an author who is a Swiss security analyst that somehow got these files. And why would someone in Switzerland, well, that's more respectable than saying, I got it from a Hong Kong tabloid? Well, it's not even that. It's the person who worked there, emphasis on past tense. Anyway, he still alleges it's not him. It should be noted that most of the people I've talked about or named off here may or may not have been fired for this shit. Because even tabloids have standards, I guess. Or they're let go. Or maybe they've resigned. That's it. That's the entire thing. All of this is involving a stack of people, $10,000, a bunch of blog postings, a tabloid, and China, not Switzerland. Well, I didn't get it from the guy up the street here in Oregon. I got it from somebody in Washington, D.C., and he was a security analyst. Oh, no, it was actually a Mac shop, because that's the address I used in Barbados. The original Hunter Biden 64-page dossier, which people say, oh, that's not what we're talking about. Frog's gay. No, the original authorship for this all boils down to somebody named Christopher Balding, who's a blogger. Apparently he worked as a teacher at one point or another, or a professor. That's not relevant. The buck stops with him. Well, I'm not going to name my source. But you faked a source and you wanted it to point away from China? What is this central assertion in this 64-page document? And what is the one that is everybody is using as the wink, wink, nudge, nudge reasoning for harassing Joe Biden through his son? Okay, let's break this down very slowly. Joe Biden is assumed from the get-go, and we must find proof of this, to have been compromised in a partnership with the Communist Party of China specifically. Why? If Hunter Biden conducted business with rich Chinese individuals, and those individuals had ties to the military, and the military has ties to the Communist Party, through this layer of, I think it's almost 5 degrees of separation, Joe Biden must be influenced by the Communist Party. Let me repeat that. The Communist Party influences the Chinese military in China. And they influence rich individuals in China. And those rich individuals influenced Hunter Biden. But it has to be illegal, emphasis added, illegal interaction in China by Hunter Biden, a relative of a former vice president. And then Hunter Biden influenced Joe Biden. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 layers here. Let's say 4 degrees of separation. I should also point out a bit of confusion. The National Broadcasting Corporation of Hong Kong is referred to in short as NBC. So some of the pages say NBC, but don't specify China's NBC is the source. It's not NBC, the United States. Let's review the proof that the Chinese military influences Chinese people and Chinese rich people, and that those Chinese people influenced Hunter Biden through illegal, we have to throw that in somehow, illegal business practices. You know, with Trump having legal business contacts with China and having, doesn't he have a secret bank account? But anyway, Hunter Biden then affected Joe Biden, and this must be illegal and compromising partnerships and Communist Party influence through multiple degrees of separation. Instead of him being the vice president of the United States at one time and having to discuss things directly with the Chinese government, which is essentially run by the Chinese Party, Chinese Communist Party. You know, like no degree of separation, and him doing it as part of his job on the above board with data and notes taken and recordings of him doing it, and him being on camera because we had to negotiate with China deals that benefited us, that Trump took down from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That actually happened, by the way. Yeah, we had power over the Trans-Pacific Partnership and had veto power. And then when we had Donald Trump come into play, he decided to destroy our ability to have control over it by saying, we're not approving anything. So they just wrote us out of the deal and did it themselves, and now China can get in without having us be gatekeepers. That's great. Fucking great. Who benefited China here? Trump or Biden? All right. Donald Trump has family members that literally run businesses that he is not disconnected from, that have ties and deals with dozens of countries, if you want to do the same sort of degree of separation. And it's explicitly illegal for him to do it, but he never really disconnected. He won't show us his tax records. He lies about the reasoning for it because even the IRS said, no, we're not doing that. He can release the information. He's gone out of his way to not even tell us his SAT scores. But Biden's guilty because his son's guilty because he had business with rich Chinese individuals, and all of them have ties to the military, and all of them have ties to the Communist Party through that, because instead of just Joe Biden working above board. After you are a vice president or president, are you allowed to do business outside of the United States? Yes. Can you be excluded from holding office? Yes. You have to show proof, positive proof, that you are directly being affected by some other country. And if you're doing it indirectly, it'd be helpful if you didn't use a spam bot that used to sell feminine products on Twitter. That would be really fucking handy. The authorship of this goes back to some guy named Balding. That's it. It's just some rando who's associated with Hong Kong and a tabloid. You know, I like the movie Men in Black. If you want to find out about the aliens visiting, you know, check out the Inquirer. I understand that. That's great. But there's a point beyond which it gets really stupid. And the next claim you get from the Washington Post or whatever, somebody saying, oh, this is them desperately grasping at straws. No, this is one of the underpinnings for the presumption of guilt associating Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. They don't talk to you why they're bringing up Hunter Biden. Well, he has ties. What ties? Well, it's some documents. What documents? It's this one. And it's a 64-page file that has only one person associated with it, whoever claimed to be an author. And now he's retracting it, said, I had nothing to do with it. It started falling apart on him, so he just started puffing it up. The origin story for this story goes back to a person who is not telling us why we should believe the story, saying, believe it because originally it was a Swiss company, totally isolated from this, and now we find out it's directly associated with a Chinese tabloid, and it's really just him. But we're not supposed to pay attention to this, again, fabricated story and fabricated data. And again, the sources for the hard drive data won't let anybody double check whether or not they're just fucking lying, and they're being very obvious about not wanting to be checked on. You know, like every other fucking part of this. If the guy was guilty of some crime, Hunter Biden, you didn't produce the evidence before so you could convict him, this would have been a lot easier. No, you wait for an election year, and you do it in such a way we can't check on it, so you can take as long as possible to eke it out to gain political power and affect people's votes without proving a damn thing and solving any problems. Again, it's a lie. I don't like any of these guys either, but seriously, stop lying about them. Where's the fucking proof? Thanks for watching, everybody.